Well, can I talk about two? The first one was when we had to wait to have children. It was tough. It was a tough time, but what kept me was our faith in God. For what He had promised, He would deliver. The second one was when we moved to Canada. It was a tough time. Being in the will of God does not mean that it would be easy. We knew that we were in the will of God, and that was probably what kept us going too, even up until now. But when we first moved here, after we expended all our finances, it became quite tough. There would be nights that, we would not have what to eat, with the children. But again, God came through because we trusted Him. So those are the two of that I can think of.
Well, for me, the first one I can recollect is the 3 years when she traveled and before my visa came through. My visa to go to her. It was a tough time for me. A tough time in the sense that I almost gave up on the marriage. That let's end this. These American people will never give me visa. And I was working in an organization where, from the general manager to my immediate boss, they were encouraging me to forget about it. That, you can't keep a wife in America for over 2 years and still think you have a wife. And why not consider some options here? It was challenging, and I think in the midst of it, I met Christ, which was able to ground me, and God put me out of that group. So that was the first challenge that I can say we witnessed. The second one, like you said, is coming to Canada, because up to the time we came to Canada, we had things good. There was abundance of provision. Money was not a problem. But coming to Canada was a different ball game, especially as a man, to not be able to provide. You can't get a job. I couldn't even work anyway because I came on missionary visa to Canada. But she couldn't get a job. And as much as we tried, and we couldn't put, the first 2 weeks or so, we couldn't put our children in school. So they have to sit at home with us. And it looks as if, this was a mistake. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful to God that she stayed, because our boss kept her job open for 1 year. They kept the position open that she will return. But she stayed, focused on the ministry, and we were able to get through it. And there was even a night that I cried without her knowing, the day she went to work, and the lady she was working with slapped her. And she told me, I said, oh my goodness, what is all this? But she was grounded in the call, and it helped to stabilize me to focus. Whatever we had, we were eating. Even when the 2 cars were repossessed, but we were still going. So we thank God for those years. They were formative years that no matter what we face in ministry, we are here to stay. For me, I would say a faithful God. He who calls you is faithful. That has been the word for the past 15 years that I kept falling back on. That we are not in this, and I've said it repeatedly, even on the altar. I never had the intention of being a pastor, talk less of starting a church. But I know this is what the will of God is, and that He has assured us that He will provide. At times I meet other pastors and they talk about part-time ministry or one-quarter ministry. But right from the beginning, God said full-time ministry. And it's like a death sentence that my marriage will disintegrate. This lady will leave but at the end of the day, God has proven himself. So if I look at it, even our children, they are in it. They are committed to the ministry. They are committed to God, and they don't complain. So the sermon will be the faithful God.
I think I like what you said, but I want to also add that the grace of God, for me, I think it's the grace of God that's kept me, in the marriage for 30 years. Because without the grace of God, we can't do anything. The best of marriage is scatter. Not to talk about us coming in without even knowing what we were doing, because I had no clue what I was doing when I just wanted to. I guess the reason I got married was because I was going to America. We were already doing well, going and going and going. We lived in different cities, we see each other occasionally. I was okay with that, but when we were going to America, I think when I had to leave, I think that was when I actually thought that maybe we should get married though.
And I was smart enough to agree that we should get married.
And not knowing what I was getting myself into. It's honest when Gloria Copeland is talking about her story, it kind of resonates with me, because her own story was like when Kenneth came to her and say, let's do this, she was like, okay, I will get out of it somehow. That was actually the attitude that I had, that I didn't even think that, okay, well, we'll make something out of it. Let's just keep whatever we're doing, let's keep doing. Let's go get married. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. You're going to America, let's marry. We'll do it. Okay, fine. Until I realized that, wow, I'm really into this thing neck deep, or, like there's really no way out. And the grace of God has sustained us, all that. We could have ended it so many times, we could have walked out, but God has sustained us. So it is his grace and faithfulness. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Well, the looking back, I would say that trust God and commit. Marriage is love, but the eros, that's romantic love, would not keep marriage. It is the love of God, agape love, and commitment to the institution of marriage, putting the work into it. If you are in ministry, trust God to sustain you. It's not going to, especially if both of you are in ministry together, there would be challenges in the ministry, but God that has called you would sustain you. Make sure that you have time to take care of each other. Once you're done with ministry, when the ministry is going on, when you get home, make sure that you take care of each other, take care of yourself, take care of each other.
If they are sure of the call of God upon their life, the best advice will be to just trust God and stay in the will of God. No matter one of our pastor friends will say, no matter the matter, just stay there and keep your focus. Be on the same page. It's challenging being on the same page, especially if you are starting a church from the scratch. It's challenging because to get the right people with you, for people to buy into the vision, for them to even trust you, and you have to, a lot of things come into play. But the binding force is the trust of God. He has promised he will not leave you and he will not forsake you. And faithful is he who will also establish the call.
Amen.